Hi.
Yeah, so, I thought of it during the break, why they would, recap, because you probably didn't see this. But Potato here went to an interview at McDonald's one time, or went to apply at McDonald's once, and they're like, oh, we can just have an interview for you. And he was talking about how he was dressed up, buttoned up shirt, really nice, snazzy, especially for his age group. But he was wearing a black jacket over a top, and when they're like, oh, you want to do an interview now? He said yes. And what did they say about your jacket?
I asked if they wanted me to keep my jacket on, as at the time it was autumn and it was rainy, so it was really cold. And this was just a black windbreaker jacket. No, there was no logos or anything, it was just blank. I asked if they wanted me to keep it on, and or if they wanted me to take it off, and the manager said, no, you can keep it on. We'll only be here for a couple minutes. So I complied and I left it on.
And what did you get the call back as the reason why you didn't get the job?
I got the call back and they said they didn't want to hire me because it was the jacket. So yeah, no, we didn't like the jacket.
So, the only theory I could think of that made any fucking sense is that they had a friend or a family member who wanted the position, and they had to think of a really shitty excuse as to why not to give it to someone who was qualified.
I mean, I wouldn't say I was qualified, just the fact that that was the excuse.
Yeah.
If they said, yeah, after looking
normal
at
to
it...
Dragon. Doesn't Dragon beat normal?
Neutral.
Oh, really?
Yep. Even if they just said, like, look, we'd rather just go with someone who can work more shifts than you can, because I was still in school at the time. I'd be like, you know what, that's fair enough. That I can...
But I'm not coming across like they were making an excuse because they had someone like a little cousin who wanted the job. Ever have that? Where they basically don't go with someone because someone's cousin or whatever wants the job?
Pretty much. I know exactly what you mean.
So that's like the only thing I can think of. Like, can you think of any other theories?
Honestly, I can't. No.
Fucking Teddy Ursa fled?
Huh.
I didn't realize he could do that.
I didn't think it could either.
Okay, I need to kill that. So that's kind of just fucking weird.
Yep.
Oh, kind of a funny story. My sister's now ex wanted to be an acupuncturist. He had done massage therapy in university first. And when he was doing the acupuncture course, his acupuncture teacher was a real douche. Like, to the point where when he quit, he stood up, told them to fuck off, and left. And was still able to get partial refund for the class, despite his actions.
Holy.
It included, well, you know how acupuncture, there isn't a whole lot of research to actually back it up.
Is there mostly just theory or whatever?
There's like no actual concrete evidence to back it up for the most part.
Makes sense, yeah.
Whereas massage therapy actually does have a background.
Yeah.
The teacher was bagging on massage therapy and calling it bullshit and nothing but a pseudoscience crap. And part of the acupuncture course, they actually had to teach a bit of massage therapy because it was part of it.
Yeah.
And they just kept on going on how it was bullshit. And they kept trying to tell my sister's at that time boyfriend that he didn't know what he was doing. And I just turned to the person. It's like, I am a registered massage therapist who has, this many years in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the teacher's like, well, you're still not doing it right. And it's like, you yourself call it bullshit and say you don't normally do it.
Yeah.
You have no degree in it, and yet you've arbitrated yourself as an expert, something. Or you arbitrarily declared yourself an expert. That's something you've admitted you think is bullshit.
Yeah.
Ah, crap, it's going to self-destruct. Oh, rock throw, holy fuck.
Oh, wow.
That's going to kill me though, isn't it?
No,
actually it didn't.
Nice.
No, so, they were very unprofessional and other things, but eventually he got so pissed, he left and told them to fuck off.
Yeah.
Put in a complaint, got a partial refund.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, but glass houses don't throw rocks,
Yeah.
You're an acupuncturist, and there's actually less scientific stuff to back up acupuncture. In fact, there's like almost nothing. I'm not trying to talk acupuncturist, I don't know all the things about all that, and more research could always be done.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing has been recognized in the last few years as a valid part of the medical field, and that's massage therapy, because, well, enough research has been done on it to say it does work.
Yeah.
So maybe don't be bagging on that, you know. It's like when you have a degree that people usually call bullshit, and then you're calling someone else's degree bullshit. It's like, once again, glass houses, guys.
Yeah.
And I know this is like a really bad one, and I'm not trying to say about all, but gender studies. That is a course that is very inconsistent in how it's taught in every university. And like no two universities are the same about their gender studies courses. And because of that, even other gender studies classes make fun of other universities' gender studies classes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying it's a bullshit course, I'm not saying that at all, I'm just saying, you know, if you're in that kind of situation, you know, where your thing's bagged on, maybe you should be a little more hesitant to rip on another course that has, you know, equal proven clout.
Yeah.
God, that was like the only example I could think of though in the moment that wasn't acupuncture. And God, if anyone sees this, I'm gonna get my head ripped off. And you know, I've met people who did gender studies courses, you know, and they learned a lot. But I've also met others who did it at other institutes and quit the institute they were at to go to a different institute to learn it because they thought their institute was full of shit.
Jesus.
No, like there have actually been full cases in which one institute has been bagging on another institute for what textbook they use because the textbooks they think is full of shit.
Jesus.
Because it is really one of those where it's like every university uses a different thing and has different. Well, it's like anthropology and psychology to an extent, to a very small extent, in the fact that you know there's a lot of things that different you know people in the field don't agree on.
Yeah.
So because of that, there's lots of books written by different people that contradict each other. Because that's, you know, such a soft science, you might want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense to me.
But, God. Anyone says I'm getting crucified either way. I am not saying that any of these courses are bullshit. You know, once again, I've met people who've taken gender studies courses and learned a lot. I've met people, though, who went to a different university than the original one they went to because they thought their original university did a shit job at it. And as for anthropology and psychology, I took both those courses.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to read 2 different textbooks for both of them because of a textbook change last second.
Oh, you gotta love that shit.
And the case studies, they both use the same case studies to prove opposite points in some of those.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, different scientists have different theories. It's like how some believe in string theory, and others believe in what is M theory or whatever it is.
I'm not too sure at all.
Dot theory or something like that.
I think I know what you mean by that, though, yeah.
You know, it's messy to say the least to try and explain this.
Yeah.
This is not my area of expertise. I'm just saying, you know, it's not really off topic because basically, you know, she insulted the degree that, you know, he had and the thing that he studied in spite of part of her course being required to teach it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't shit on the thing you're required by thing to teach. If you want any respect for it.
I mean, that sounds about right.
I don't know. Just like another question, would you be more up for acupuncture or massage therapy? Getting a session of it, I mean.
Personally, massage therapy.
Yeah, personally, I've heard better things from it. In my case, though, I do have a biased outlook on that. You know, my older sibling went to massage therapy. I've met lots of people who did massage therapy.
I've actually had massage therapy a couple of times, and it's awesome.
Oh, that's right, because you had sports injuries and stuff like that required it.
Yep.
What was the worst sports injury you ever got?
Dislocated shoulder.
How'd you do that?
Some 6'5" fucker, hit me, from
How
behind.
old were you and how big were you?
I was like 14.
You were 14, and, like, describe this guy a bit more. Like, give us the real, like, details of this.
This guy was within our age group still, but he was like 6.5 feet tall, and the average height in our league was maybe about 5'4".
How many pounds would you say he was?
At least 180, 190 minimum. That's a
Okay.
bare minimum, yeah. So the play was over. The ref blew the whistle. Okay, so nothing was happening at all. And we're going to our bench. Well, the guy gets it from behind, cross-checks me in the back, and sends me to the boards.
Cross-checking is a hockey thing.
That's when you hold a stick with 2 hands and you smack it into someone with the stick itself.
Which cross-checking from the front is illegal. Cross-checking from behind...
That's even worse. Now, the fact that this was after the whistle as well, and it's not where, oh, well, maybe he went for the hit as the whistle was blowing.
But...
No, this was several seconds after the whistle was over. Everyone was going back to their benches. So he does that, and because I'm completely unprepared, I can't brace myself for anything. And I land in a way where my shoulder pops out. And my dad was livid beyond all hell, and actually some of our coaches got kicked out of the game because the ref didn't call anything. At all, even though it happened right at him. Parents were cussing the shit out of this ref. This ref got ran out of the arena. Like, it was brutal.
Oh god, was it like that back, was it 06, when the refs refused to make a bunch of calls they should have, and people were like throwing beers at them, and the security had to escort them right to their cars?
Pretty much. Like, this is the kind of ref where if I saw them in the parking lot, I'd gladly stab them. Just saying.
This is coming from Potato. Despite all his talk, I've never known him to actually be violent, so that's saying a lot.
Like, this is a ref that deserves to get into a car crash.
Oh, come on. The other people didn't deserve it, though. Or do you mean just his car crash?
He can drive down the highway, hit a barricade, and just fly out of it, scraping 100 feet onto the pavement.
That sounds very painful, actually.
Yeah. Well, maybe he should do his job right. And, like, something like that. Like, there's been a big issue in sports where it's like, oh, well, when they're fighting, they're pretty much assaulting each other. No, not really, because if
there are certain rules in place.
They have rules
and
in
certain
place
agreements you reach.
But there is an extent where if a player does something so violent,
like another player's helmet comes off, you don't take your stick and slash him across the face.
No, like if you do that, you can actually be fined for that, like straight up. Like that can be considered assault. In most cases where it's like, oh well, it was a weird landing or whatever, it's like you really can't do too much about it. That was just an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
If it's something completely preventable, such as someone going out of their way to physically attack you after play is considered dead, which is, okay, nothing happens here, you guys just rest up and get ready for the next thing. Yeah, you could probably actually get legal action to that.
Yeah.
Because it really is no different from, let's say you're at school playing football, and a kid gets hurt during play. Okay, you know, it really sucks, but it's a game.
Yeah.
It's a physical sport, things happen. Now, if you're all lining up to do the hike or whatever, I don't know what they call it, the hut, if you're lining up, some kid walks up to you while it's happening where you're not allowed any physical contact. You're pretty much not allowed to move, essentially.
Until you hear that, what?
Yep, until the ball is flicked back, you can move, but you cannot cross the I think it's called the attack line or the line of defense. You cannot move past that, which is an imaginary line, and pretty much everyone's lined up. Like, you cannot hit anyone. If some kid walks up and punts you in the face, that's a wild ente.
Should I use my Master Ball on it?
Do it.
Well, what else is there to use a Master Ball on other than roamings?
Exactly. Unless you want to get like Ho-Oh.
But can't you get Ho-Oh with just Ultra Balls?
Theoretically, well, you can get all of them with Ultra Balls, just it's a real pain in the ass to get.
Yeah, but compared to the roamings,
yeah.
Ones that don't roam, getting them in Ultra Balls is so easy in comparison.
I like the idea of roaming legendaries, but at the same time I hate the idea of roaming legendaries.
I like the idea of them roaming. I don't like the idea of them always fucking disappearing though and running away immediately.
Yeah.
Roaming was cool. Them disappearing after you run into them though is bullshit.
Moral of the story is, the ref is a total bitch.
Wasn't there a time when you like completely laid out another player though?
Yeah, one time I hit a player, okay, well yeah, that time I could have got fined.
Yeah, this is one time Potato's in the wrong.
But the proper course of action was taken, which I agree upon. But also at the same time...
What did you do with that one again?
So pretty much what happened, we were in the middle of a tournament, and this one kid, for whatever reason, he was a real dickhead. And I knocked him over. It was a nice clean hit. It was a good hit. And he goes ahead and starts grabbing my legs so that I'm not able to move. Well, this could actually be potentially dangerous, and...
is that fire dodge or fire doge?
That's fire dodge. Doge is D-O-G-E.
D-O?
G-E.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, so what the guy was doing, you could potentially you can call it as its own penalty, holding. It's an actual penalty in hockey.
Yeah.
As well, he could potentially risk endangering me as...
Well, if you grab someone's leg and you're on the ground, you risk pulling their skate blade into your flesh.
Exactly. Like, he was risking himself as well as making me fall over, which... whatever. But this is a really tense game. Like, I was in the penalty box 3 times already. This is the first 10 minutes of the game. A penalty lasts 2 minutes if you stay in there the whole time, which I did. So I had 6 minutes worth of penalties in the first 10 minutes of the game. And they weren't bad penalties, like they were just, I hit a kid a little too hard. Or something like that.
Oh, it was like baby gloves penalties instead of real penalties.
Yeah, it's like, well, you could have let up a little bit, but it was a tournament game. We're trying hard. Okay?
It would have been a clean hit in a normal game.
But in this case here, I just lost it. And then when the kid was laying on the ground, I socked him in the face with my glove, smacking his helmet into the ice, and his dad was sitting at the bench right across from us, like he was on the other side of the glass.
Did you look into his eyes while you made his kid your bitch?
Oh, this is the funny part. So I got kicked out of the game, and I was suspended for 2 games. Fair enough, I actually agreed with the punishment, because I did go well overboard, and that would have been my 4th penalty. And I think they actually had a limit where after your 3rd penalty, if you get another one, you get kicked out, because... It's supposed to be a somewhat professional tournament for 12-year-olds. So I come back, and fortunately for us, my team is able to win the next 2 games, and we're in the finals. And lo and behold, we're against this kid and his team.
Again.
And so things are going good. It's a tie game, and we go into the overtime. Okay, well, it's still tied, and it goes to a shootout. Well, I think we went 8 shooters in on both sides, and no one scored yet. And then it was like, okay, well, it's my turn. I don't even remember what I did. I think I just shot it and it went in. So I start freaking out because, like, oh my god, I got the goal. This is so cool. And if the other team doesn't score, it holds up as a game winner. Well, guess who's standing right at the goalie after I scored? His dad. And I stared him dead in the eyes. I tried to flip him off, but I couldn't do it because my glove was too tight, like it was a new glove.
You have gotten kicked out of the game for that.
Probably, but my goal would have still stood.
Actually, that's true.
You cannot take away a goal like that. It was a legal goal. I did nothing wrong to prevent a goal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, their other guy, he ended up shooting and sure enough missed, and we won. And I saw him leave the entire arena disappointed. It was great.
God. That kind of reminds me when Pronger, he was a hockey player who was on Edmonton a long time ago. He had switched to another team, though, which, considering all the things he signed saying he would stay and then he changed his mind on that, pissed a lot of people off. But there was a player, and instead of checking him properly, he raised a knee and raised an elbow to the guy to block him and got either a 2 to 4 minute penalty on that. But it was, there was only like 10 seconds like 15 seconds left in the game. It prevented a possible goal, I think it was. But, you know, it then went to shootout after that, because actually it was penalty in overtime. And he shoots the winning goal, and it's like, but he was in the penalty box before the shootout, so why isn't that punishment carry over?
Yeah, a lot of us are agreeing that if you take a penalty and then it goes into the shootout, if your penalty did not expire by the time the shootout started, so the end of overtime, you should not be allowed to shoot at all.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And it would actually make the game a lot safer, because there's guys that take stupid penalties in the last minute. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, so you're allowed to shoot anyways? It's like, what's the point of the penalty then?
Yeah.
Punish these guys for being dumbasses in the last minute. And also, I'm going to double back here, because in case any officers watch this video, I'm going to retract the statement of me wanting to attack the ref. Instead, I would hope to see his car... Hey, look, another dog!
What the fuck?
I'll retract the statement and say that if I saw him on the side of the road and his car broke down, I would not stop to boost it. I would just still go, because I don't like this ref.
Well, I think we all understand, especially Officer Johnson over there, that you said the emotional thing, thinking back to yourself as a young kid, rather than as the grown adult you are, who is mature and wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Things flare up in the heat of the game. When you look back at it, I'm still pissed at the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And if he needed help, like if it were life and death, yeah.
You might piss on him first, but you'd help him.
If it's life and death, I'll help him.
If Potato here saw him on fire, about to burn to death, he would at least drop trail and piss on him.
I'll extinguish the flames. But if you need a hand opening a door because your hands are full of groceries, no thanks, you're on your own.
Yeah. You need a shift covered because it's your kid's birthday? Well, sucks to be your kid.
I would switch it just for the kid, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, too.
Just for the kid.
You want it off because it's your birthday? Fuck yourself. It's your kid's birthday? Yeah, you can add that one.
And I'm the kind that'll say, oh, it's your birthday? Yeah, take the day off. Go for it.
No, but... God. Sports. I think the worst injury I got with sports wasn't even really sports. It was kindergarten or grade 1, and we had that, really rough blacktop shit.
Yeah.
And I was playing, I forget what game it was, like tag or whatever. I ended up tripping, and I ended up tripping so bad that I cut up like my knee and my entire knee. Ended up with a scab covering the entire thing for the rest of that year.
Holy.
Yeah, that was gross. But it happened.
Yeah, shit
I don't have
happens.
as cool stories as you. Fucking laying on a random dude for a random reason.
I was hockey and I was pissed.
I guess that is. If you don't know, that is almost a legitimate thing in Canada. It doesn't get you away from being called a douchebag, and occasionally you can still get charges if it caused big enough injury.
I like it when I do this banner and I get 2 3 stars and I get another Odin at 4 stars at my last one. Thank you. I don't even use Odin. I don't know why, he just scares me.
Is that the guy with the exposed top, but he's a blue magic user?
Yep.
God, I used to use him and he just started sucking.
Oh god. I was just because I was bored, I looked up a list of the worst Fire Emblem hero characters, and it's kind of unanimously decided that Henry is the worst.
Is Henry the sweet stealer?
Henry looks like a discount Robin.
Okay. Well, we fucked about a bit. Have a good night.
Does he not look like a discount Robin?
Yes, Henry is a discount Robin.
What sucks too is that his voice actor is Bryce Papenbrook, who I like.
Bryce was awesome.
I just don't like Henry.
Sorry, we went to a con and Bryce Papenbrook was there. They screwed up the thing. They let the people with the special passes continuously go and never caught their line. And Bryce, because he felt bad enough, he stayed for like an extra half an hour to an hour to make sure that the people who had the normal line at least got something.
Yeah, he was awesome.
And he was very nice, and he was actually apologetic even though it wasn't his fault. So, sorry, we just had to say, nice guy, Bryce Papenbrook. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.